Jailbreak Season 13 is coming very soon, and you might be wondering, what have people created for the season? What is most likely to win? I'm going to help you answer that question in this video where I look through almost every submitted item for Season 13. I'm going to give each item a rating from 1 through 5. If I give the item a score of 1, that means I think it's unlikely to make it into the season. If I give it a score of 5, that means I think it is highly likely to make it into the season. Now keep in mind, I'm not rating these items based on how good they look. I'm only rating them based on how likely they are to make it into the game. If you want to skip ahead, feel free. I've left time codes in the description. If you enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. First up, we're going to look at the furniture created for the season. First off, from Yamels, we have the city hologram. So I'm going to give this item a 3 out of 5 because while it is cool, it's not quite villain themed. Like, there's not really anything majorly villainous about it. This honestly seems more suited for the military season, which we were just in. Again, from Yamels, we have the lava gun. I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5 because over the past few seasons, several people have submitted really cool guns as wall furniture, but the thing is, the devs have never added them because the guns themselves are not in the game. Therefore, I don't expect this one to be added either. Then from Ikleon, we have the Iron Maiden furniture for Season 13. Now, this fits the villain theme perfectly. It has a lot of really cool details, and the devs love gimmicky furniture when it comes to seasons. I think this would also be a cool gimmicky furniture prize, so I have high belief that the devs will add this one. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Again, from Ikleon, we have the bomb chandelier. Really unique idea. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Then from Zuzi Shushi, we have the coffin bed. Looks pretty good, perfectly suited for a vampire. I'm just wondering if the devs might think it's too big, so I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. I think it has a decent chance, but I'm not fully sold that the devs will add it. Then from Memescent, we have the Hero Zapper. This is a really cool idea, and I could totally see the devs adding a gimmick where the laser beam at the end zaps whoever sits on the table. If they're looking for gimmicky furniture, I think this would definitely be something they consider, so I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. I think it has a high chance. Then from Mr. Sharky Cat, we have the Cryo Chamber. This one will get a 4 out of 5 from me. They love to add Sharky Cat creations, and this is also a really unique gimmick idea for the season. I'm curious though how people would get trapped in here. Would they just walk up to it and then get trapped? Would they be able to jump right back out? Because that kind of defeats the point. Maybe if you kill a player, they'll get sent here. I don't know. So it's interesting, but there are some things to think about that maybe the devs wouldn't be a fan of, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Then from Caracal Enjoyer, we have the boss desk. Perfectly executed. This fits the theme really well, and it's well made, so I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. I think this is also super likely to make it. And lastly, for furniture, we have the Spike Cube. This is absolutely beautiful. It fits the theme perfectly. It's so menacing. I'm literally shaking and crying just by looking at it. Therefore, I must give it not just a 10 out of 5, a 100,000 out of 5. Now, let's take a look at the rims created for the season. First up, from Benjamites, we have the minigun rims. These are pretty cool, and if they were added, I think they'd look really nice on a lot of vehicles. I'll give them a 4 out of 5. Then from Plasmazilla, we have the saw blade rims. These are pretty noob freaking cool. I'll give them a 4 out of 5. Then from Amb is the best, we have the Villain V rims. This is a more campy, old-fashioned style of rim, but it's pretty cool. I think it'll look a little bit weird when driving, but it's a solid idea. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Then from Silent Polarization, we have the Eyes of Tartarus rims. Now these are really awesome. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. I think these are highly likely to make it into the season. They're just so unique, and they fit the theme really well, being a reference, I assume, to the iconic Eye of Sauron. But yeah, they're really cool, so I think they have a good chance. Then lastly, from Silent Polarization, we have the Unknown Signal rims. Now, if you don't remember, this is the guy from the 2022 live event, which a lot of people are theorizing will make a return next update. So Silent here turned them into a rim, and it looks pretty good. It does look a little wacky when driving, but it's overall really solid, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think this has a pretty good chance. Then from friend of the show Shadow Samurai, we have the Death Blossom rims. I think I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. Again from Rising Shadow, we have the Electro rims. These are pretty cool and they're very gimmicky, being animated, so I could totally see the devs adding this as a season pass exclusive. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. The main thing holding this one back is that it's not exactly super villain themed. Then from Speed Queen we have the Poison Bomb rims. These are based off of the Green Goblin bombs. They're really cool. I think these would look awesome with the Doc Ock arms. I'll give them a 4 out of 5. Main thing holding this one back is the small amount of support it has compared to other rims. Then from Speed Queen we have the Casino Chip rims. Again, this is just based on the theory that many people have connecting the crown to the villain. To me, that theory isn't quite strong enough to make this a villain prize. This was created for rich and famous, and it clearly suits that theme more, so I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Then from Grimme we have the Sabotage rims. These are pretty cool. They're like a new version of the Spike rims. However, that's also their main detriment, I feel. I think these are a bit too similar to the Spike rims, so that holds it back quite a bit. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Now, let's check out the spoilers submitted for the season. First up from Benjamites, we got the Deadly Laser spoiler. I'll give this one a 3.5. I think this is a really good idea and it has a pretty good chance. The thing is, it might be too tall. It also probably wouldn't translate well to some vehicles. However, if the devs get that figured out, I think this would be a pretty cool spoiler idea. Again from Speed Queen we have the Friendly Mallet spoiler. This is pretty good, but it might not fit well on other vehicles. And it does look a little weird as a spoiler on a vehicle, so I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 5. Then from Zushi Sushi we have the Mechanical Saw spoiler. Now these are really cool. They fit on the vehicle really well. Hopefully they translate well to other cars. I think it would be really nice if the devs made the saws animated. This would be a really cool season pass prize. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. Then from Shadow Samurai we have the Death Ray spoiler. This is pretty cool. I'm wondering how far the laser will shoot, because in all the pictures with the laser it just shoots off into infinite space, but I think this would be really nice and it would make your car stand out quite a bit. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 as well. Then from Silent Polarization we have the Villain Staff spoiler. I think these are pretty good, but they don't quite scream villain to me. Like, I could totally see a hero like Gandalf using this kind of weapon. Plus, I don't think it really works well as a spoiler. I think there's stuff they're going to pick over this one, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Again from Silent Polarization we have the Skull Crusher spoiler, and this one I have much more confidence in. It looks really dope and looks like it would emit particles as well. Really solid stuff here. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Then we have the Freeze Machine from Memescent. Now these are pretty nice, very cool even. It is a bit big though, so it might look weird when compressed onto other vehicles. But aside from that, I think the devs would find this a really solid season pass prize. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Lastly, from Plasmazilla, we have the Plasma Ray. Pretty cool. I think I'll give this one a 4.5 out of 5. Next, let's look at the skins created for the season. First up, from Icleon, we have the Flames of Malice. I'm gonna give this one a 2 out of 5. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful skin. The thing is, we've already had several fire skins added to the game, and fire itself, it's not quite a villainous thing. Again from Benjamites, we have the Cybervillain texture. It has a lot of cool detail, and the colors look really nice on this one. It's a bit of a stretch in my opinion to say it's a Cybervillain texture. I'll give this one a 3 out of 5 as well. Then from Dr. Radium, we have the Purple Infection. This is pretty good, but it looks more like, you know, purple camo. And yeah, it's just not quite villainy to me. So I'll give this one a 3 out of 5. Then we have the Rusted Mech from Dr. Radium. This is very well detailed, and overall it looks pretty good, but it's hard to connect it to the villain theme really, so I'll give this one a 3 out of 5. And finally from Dr. Radium we have the Liquid Flame. This one also gets a 2 out of 5 because it's yet another lava slash fire texture, and again, it's hard for me to connect it to the villain theme. I don't really think any of the skins submitted quite fit with the villain theme, but I don't really blame the creators, as it's really hard to think up a skin in particular. Now, we're going to take a look at almost every vehicle submitted and see which one is most likely to be the grand prize. Kicking things off from How Dece, we have the Bandit. This car got over 1,000 upvotes. A lot of people would like to see this in game. Unfortunately, I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. Just going based off of the looks, there's nothing really that stands out about it that makes it villainish. Just looks like a pretty cool sports car. Then from Icleon, we have the Tyrant. This is pretty cool. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I think this would be more fitting for like a post-apocalyptic season. There's not much villainous about it really. Like there's a lot of spikes, but that doesn't quite make me think it's a villainous vehicle. Then from Sharky Cat we have the Overlord, and this has a lot of support as well. I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. I really don't see this one being added. Not only did Sharky Cat get a vehicle added really recently, but this vehicle also doesn't quite fit the villain theme. It would be more suited for rich and famous. He even mentions it's a luxury car. Then from Speed Queen we have the Wrath. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this one a 1 out of 5. I don't see them adding this one at all. It's really not villainous in any major way. It would be much more fitting for a classic season. I think the devs really need to do a classic season, because for the past few seasons now, there have been a lot of classic vehicles being submitted, and we really need a season devoted fully to that. Then from Yamels we have the Exterminator. This is basically like a deformed version of the Batmobile. It looks pretty good. The main thing is Batman is a superhero, not a supervillain, and this car doesn't quite have anything villainous about it either. If they were to do a hero season, this would be much more fitting for that. I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. I can't see them adding this one. Then from Ziutsu we have the Bubble Top. Man, this vehicle looks so nice. Unfortunately, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5 because I really don't see this one being added into this season. Then from Plasmazilla we have the Scorpio RR. This is a really cool looking vehicle. However, it doesn't appear villain themed to me in any way. It's yet another supercar that looks really cool. Therefore, I would give it a 2 out of 5, but it does have a lot of support, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I think the amount of support might boost its chances. Then from Coinese we have the Asimobile. Wow, he created this almost 2 years ago. This one is obviously based off of Gru's vehicle. It's so wacky and unique. I think the devs would consider adding this just on how unique it is, and if they implement the missiles, then that would give it a unique gimmick. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. To be honest, speaking from personal bias, I really hope this one wins because Coinese needs a vehicle dub so badly. He's one of the OG Jailbreak Creations members. He's been submitting stuff for years and he hasn't had a vehicle added yet. I really hope this is his time. Then from Plasmazilla we have the Armageddon. This is a beast of a vehicle. Just look at all the spikes it's got. To be honest, I think all the spikes kind of makes it a little overwhelming, and it might be too over detailed. If by villain theme the devs meant spikes, then I think this is definitely a front runner for the grand prize. But I don't know, I don't think this would be their first choice, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Then from Mr. SSR we have the Punish Rod. Yeah, there's nothing really villain themed about this one either. It's just a cool looking sports car, but nothing really stands out about it to me that would make it villain themed, so I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. Then we have another Javelin, created by Rally Subby. Unfortunately, this one gets a 1 out of 5 because it's a flying vehicle and the devs just don't do spawnable flying vehicles with good hover height, and this one would need it considering how big it is, so I really can't see this one being added. Then from guest 51525361777 we have the Hovermatic. This one is obviously based off of Eggman's flying capsule thing from the Sonic franchise, and look, it's even got the crowns for people who are theorizing about that. There's precedence for them adding hovering vehicles before, and this is about the size of like the crew capsule and stuff. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. Maybe a 4.5, but I'll land with a 4 to be safe. I think this has a pretty good chance. Then from Caracal Enjoyer, we have the Final Phase. So this one is also a hovering villain vehicle, though I think this is a completely original design. It looks really cool. I'm also going to give this one a 4 out of 5. But lastly, from Caracal Enjoyer, we have the Reaper bike. This looks absolutely phenomenal. It fits the theme really well. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 though. The main thing holding it back is that the devs really want to do a bike revamp, and I don't think they're going to add any new bikes until they revamp the ones they've already got. So I think that would be the main thing holding this back, but who knows? Maybe they'll add it and then revamp bikes afterwards. But yeah, that's going to wrap up my coverage of almost every item submitted for Season 13. What do you think? Which submissions are your favorite? Which ones do you want to see added in the next season? Make sure to let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also consider joining my Discord server, following me on Twitter, and joining my Roblox group. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.